I was standing in my driveway in flannel pajama pants, coffee mug in hand, watching two DA agents slap handcuffs on my neighbor, Denise Latimer, while she screamed, "I didn't know it was a felony," and held my prescription bottle like it was radioactive. Her blonde bob bounced with every panicked word. She was shrieking about how she was only trying to keep the neighborhood safe. But Denise had just committed a federal crime, and I didn't think anything in my quiet cul-de-sac could ever top the satisfaction of that moment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? How does something like that even happen? How do you not notice your neighbor is about to get federally arrested? Believe me, I've asked myself the same questions a dozen times since. It didn't start with sirens. It didn't start with unmarked cars or tense government agents. No. It started the way all ridiculous suburban disasters start, with a memo. A smug, passive-aggressive, condescending memo duct taped to every mailbox on our block. Apparently, the HOA had voted to initiate a community package protection initiative. And by voted, I mean Denise shouted the loudest at the last board meeting, while everyone else scrolled on their phones or quietly checked out. The new rule stated that any package deemed suspicious or unattended would be rerouted and secured at the HOA clubhouse. Denise, of course, had generously volunteered to head the task force. Translation: Denise wanted to play Amazon cop. This is the same woman who once reported my Halloween skeleton for being intimidating, fined 2 kids for riding skateboards near the sidewalk, and attempted to have my neighbor's doormat banned because it said, "Shoes off, witches." And now she had access to our deliveries. People rolled their eyes, but no one fought it. No one wanted to deal with her directly. I certainly didn't then. Not because I was afraid of her, but because I was exhausted. I have an autoimmune disorder that's a full-time job to manage. Every month, I receive a shipment of tightly regulated, temperature-sensitive prescription medication. Narcotics, technically legal, prescribed, and necessary. If they don't arrive on time, I spiral. Simple as that. So when I got the notification that my shipment had been delivered, but the package was nowhere to be found, I already knew where it went. Still, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I'm an idiot like that. I walked to the HOA clubhouse and found Denise behind the front desk like she was running TSA at LAX. She gave me a smile so tight it could split concrete. "Nothing came in today," she said sweetly. "Maybe check with the carrier?" Behind her, partially hidden, I saw a package with my pharmacy's logo. Pointed at it. Denise stepped in front of it. "That's my sister's thyroid meds," she said flatly. "She lives with me sometimes." "Sure, Denise. Your invisible sister, who also apparently uses the exact same specialty pharmacy from another state as I do. What a coincidence. Most people would have given up then. Maybe called the cops and been told it was a civil matter. But here's where it gets fun. That package, it had a tracker. Not just a postal one. This was part of a new DA program to monitor shipments of controlled substances. Because my prescription is high risk, my pharmacy had enrolled me in a voluntary trial program. I had no idea how valuable that would turn out to be until I got a call later that night. The man on the other end of the line introduced himself as Agent Troy Barnes. DA. Calm, measured voice? The kind of voice that tells you you're not in trouble yet. He asked if I'd received my shipment. "No," I replied. "Do you have reason to believe someone else may have taken possession of it?" There was a pause before I said the words I never thought I'd say with total sincerity. "Yeah. Probably the president of our HOA." Another pause. Longer this time. "We'd like to come by for a conversation," he said. "You available tomorrow morning?" Nothing wakes you up faster than hearing a federal agent wants to swing by to talk about your nosy neighbor. They didn't arrive in black SUVs or kick my door in. It was 2 unmarked cars and 3 agents who looked more annoyed than threatening. They sat down at my kitchen table and asked questions. Had Denise done this before? Any past behavior to suggest a pattern? Did I have any footage? Oh yes. Yes, I did. My doorbell cam had caught Denise walking right across my lawn with the package in hand. She even waved at the camera like she thought she was on patrol. Like she was doing God's work. Agent Barnes watched the footage and nodded. "We're going to monitor the situation for a few days," he said. I thought that meant they'd talk to her. I was wrong. They were just getting started. Over the next few days, Denise doubled down. She strutted around the cul-de-sac like she was running for sheriff. She handed out flyers about unregulated pharmaceuticals and suspicious activity. She told one neighbor she was doing what the police were too lazy to do. I smiled and waved at her every time we crossed paths. She thought I was clueless. Meanwhile, the DA had begun watching her garbage bins. Then Agent Barnes called me again. "We're planning a controlled delivery. You okay playing along?" "Way past okay," I said. "I've been preparing for this moment my entire life." The next shipment looked identical. Same box, same weight, same branding. But inside was a GPS chip, a motion-triggered camera label, and a silent alert wired to my phone. It was dropped on my porch at 10:47 a.m. Denise scooped it up at 10:53 a.m. Barefoot, mimosa in hand. She didn't even knock. Just strolled over like she was out for the paper and took it directly into her garage. 10 seconds later, the alert hit my phone. 30 seconds after that, the DA moved in. I stood on my driveway in pajama pants, watching federal agents surround Denise's house. And when they led her out in cuffs, she screamed, "I didn't sell it. I just Googled it." Yes, that was her defense. She had Googled what was inside. As if shouting, "I just Googled it," while being arrested on your front lawn was some kind of magical exoneration. Agent Barnes carefully sealed my pill bottle into an evidence bag while Denise ranted about conspiracy and neighborhood safety. I couldn't stop smiling. It was the most ridiculous, karmically satisfying moment of my entire adult life. And then things got weird. She wasn't just mad, she was furious. Not at herself, of course. At me. At the DA. At the HOA for not backing her up. She claimed she had no idea it was a crime. That the rules weren't clear. That someone should have told her. What no one realized, not even the agents at first, was that Denise had been pulling this nonsense for months. Mine was just the first package that screamed back. Once the dust settled, the neighborhood erupted. Screenshots of Denise in cuffs lit up every group chat. The HOA Facebook page was flooded. Someone photoshopped her face onto a wanted poster with the caption, "Porch Pirate Gets Plundered." But not everyone believed it. Some of her loyalists refused to accept that she'd done anything wrong. They said it was a misunderstanding. That Denise had always been looking out for us. That she was protecting the community. Agent Barnes reached out to me again, asking if I'd noticed anything else suspicious in the past few months. At first, I didn't think so. Then I remembered a neighbor's birthday gift going missing. A guy down the street whose dog's meds arrived 2 weeks late. An electronics order that showed up opened, missing the user manual. These weren't isolated. They were patterns. Denise wasn't just watching packages. She was judging them. Deciding which ones were safe to release. She was Homeland Security except for vitamins and Bluetooth speakers. And I'd let it happen. We all had. The HOA board tried to pretend it never happened. They issued a bland statement about recent developments. No names. No apologies. A neighbor wrote an open letter demanding that no HOA member ever be allowed near packages again. The comments exploded. But Denise wasn't done. A week later, a process server knocked on my door. She was suing me for defamation, claiming I had damaged her reputation and caused emotional distress. I nearly dropped my coffee. I called my lawyer. He laughed. Then said, "Send me the footage." So I did. All of it. The doorbell video. The pharmacy receipts. Even audio from our prior conversations. Yes, I recorded her. No, I don't regret it. Especially the part where she told me people like you shouldn't have access to dangerous medication. People like me. Not her people. The judge took one look at my documentation and dismissed the case in under 10 minutes. But the fact that she tried after getting arrested told me everything I needed to know. Denise didn't think she'd done anything wrong. That made her dangerous. The day after her case was dismissed, I got a new HOA violation on my door. My grass was overgrown. By half an inch. Same font. Same tone. Same smugness. Only this one wasn't signed by Denise. It was signed by Cheryl Emerson, her next-door neighbor. Loyal to the core. If Denise was the queen, Cheryl was her handmaid. I trimmed the grass with a ruler. Sent in photos with measurements. Watered the edge every morning for a week just to annoy her. Then came 3 more letters. One about my trash cans being visible for 23 minutes after pickup. One about my porch light being the wrong hue. One about my fall wreath being hung up 2 weeks before the HOA's official start date. Denise was gone. But the rot remained. I decided enough was enough. I started documenting everything. Every letter. Every email. Every timestamp. My lawyer helped me organize it into a binder I called The Suburban Chronicles, Volume 1. When Cheryl filed a formal misconduct complaint against me for undermining HOA unity, I showed up to the hearing with that binder. And 3 neighbors. And my attorney. And a projector. Cheryl opened with a long speech about order and community values. Then I read my timeline. Package by package. Violation by violation. I asked, is this the community we want to leave to our kids? One where people with illnesses are treated like criminals, and lawn decor gets more scrutiny than ethics. The room went quiet. A vote was held. Cheryl was removed from the board. 6-1. She abstained. Neighbors clapped as I walked out. The next morning I received an anonymous email. Just a blurry photo. Me walking into the clubhouse. Caption, still watching. I deleted it, but I forwarded it to Agent Barnes just in case. He replied the next day, thanks. Keep your camera rolling. And I did.